Well, first of all, congratulations for the tour. I've heard that it's been very successful so far. So
yeah, it was really nice.
How's everything going, and how are the sensations? And would you say that it's the main and the most spectacular and the best tour made by the band so far?
I think so, yes. Especially because the way the setup is, like how we made this, the stage, how it looks, it's like a really like kind of a magic kind of feeling when you see it, and you step into a new world when you get into the venue and you see the show. It is for us, I think, one of the best shows we've ever done.
Yeah, and actually I think it's fueled by the success of the latest record. It's amazing. Bleed Out is one of the most successful records so far Within Temptation. In my opinion, it's a great record. Do you think it was useful to get a step forward as a band and to get a step forward regarding to the tour, that you have released such a successful record?
Yeah, well, I think always when you have an album that people connect with, then of course that will have effect on the tour as well. And I think also the show, the live show, that people are talking about it, how it is and how people have experienced it. I think that is also something that really fuels this tour again, like making videos of it and spreading the word. So it goes really well, yeah.
Yeah, and I guess it has to be quite difficult to select the songs for the setlist after so many years, after so many records.
Time, yeah.
I don't know, you have to kind of fight against each other sometimes to select the songs. And I wonder which was the main premise about selecting the songs. What's the main point of view when you get together to make that selection?
Well, I think what is most important, that you get a selection of songs that really fit well together, that are like one big story. And we start with Go to War actually on this tour, and we end almost, not completely, but at the end we have our solemn hour, which is about the war going on now in Ukraine and Russia, and then about the Second World War. And it also is like the beginning and the end, like, okay, we didn't learn much from that Second World War, as we are again here in a state of complete chaos in Europe, and also in a lot of countries around where there's so much going on in the world right now. So I think it's a whole story by itself. It's not only about war, but also how we want to live as people in society, and I think that's the story that we bring. Yes,
a lot of message behind these songs. We'll talk again about that later. Talking about the show, talking about the stage. How important for Within Temptations nowadays? I mean, the scenography, all the staging, and in the other side, how important is the rock and roll attitude, the chemistry with the people, all this stuff? Because of course you can have a very sophisticated show in one hand, but on the other hand, exactly. I guess that you try your best to keep it fresh and natural.
Well, I think the way the stage looks now, also how it's been built up with ego risers, that's what they're called, where you stand on. There's a lot of space to have the rock and roll going on, like running around on stage and interaction with people. And the thing is, with the set list and everything is, for more than ever, fitting like a glove with each other. So the two sides that you're talking about are actually working really well together. And so it's not only sophisticated in a way, but it also has this vibe of interaction with the audience a lot.
You've always loved it, to interact with the action, to talk with the audience, to keep them high somehow, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and also to be interactive with us, because of course you can close your eyes and enjoy, but when we give a lot of energy, you also hope a bit back, to get something back from the audience as well, and that's what we try.
Yeah, and something that fits together, right?
Yeah, exactly, totally.
That's great. Sharon, I have the sensation that Within Temptation has climbed more and more since the very first beginning. I don't know if you feel that you have had some low points in your career, but my sensation is that you haven't had many lows at all. You keep on climbing, keep on growing and growing and growing. I don't know if you know where's your ceiling actually.
I don't know what the ceiling is, but the only thing that we know is like we just want to make a new album every time that we hope that will be better than the last one. And that's of course not objective, because when you're in the band yourself, that you can't judge that for yourself. But,
of course.
And it's also very personal for everyone who's listening to an album. Like you always have your babies. A lot of our fans say, I love Enter, or I love Mother Earth, or I love The Silent Force, or whatever album they prefer. And every new album always gets burned in the beginning, and then afterwards everybody says, yeah, but it was actually my favorite one.
Oh yeah.
So I don't understand what the secret is either, and it's for everybody something different every time. And for us, it's just the golden rule is like, as long as we feel like we can still make songs that we are really enjoying ourselves, then it's a good album. And I think the latest album really succeeded in that.
Yeah, songs are great, songs are really round, really catchy, really powerful. It's a great alternative symphonic metal album. I really love it. And you turn very socially concerned in this album, of course, talking about all the Ukrainian drama, the Ukrainian tragedy with this absurd word. That's the main vindication of Bleed Out, of many songs.
Many songs, yeah.
Yeah, not all, but many.
Yeah.
Did this social aspect of the band and the lyrics help you grow as a band, as an artist, and as individuals? Again, like putting on the lyrics these points of view and making it more social somehow?
Well, I think we've always been politically engaged. We've always saw a lot of things happening in the world and talked about it through our music, but not as obvious as we do now. Like, for instance, even on Mother Earth, The Zero Fools is actually a political song. Stand My Ground is a political song. But we never spoke about what it was about, because it was more for ourselves that we felt like, okay, people just want to have, they want to escape reality a lot of times when they listen to our music. And it's a bit like a storytelling kind of way of how we do things. And so we felt it was best not to. And nowadays we also see that in society, everybody's screaming on the internet, and it's like nobody's listening anymore to each other. And not that we need to feel the need to scream as well, but more like we want to approach people from a different side, and also we are storytellers. It fits what we do. And so hopefully by making certain subjects last a little bit longer than the newspapers sometimes keep people attached to the subject. We hope that through making this music and talking about it in this way, that people will keep it in their minds and understand that it's very important.
And following this path, of course, there's another huge drama happening nowadays in Gaza. There's after this record being massively inspired of Ukraine, I wonder if you have talked together about making some songs or something regarding the genocide Israel is committing against the Palestinian people, with more than 43,000 civilians killed so far.
If we would be in the studio, probably, yeah. But that's the thing. We wrote these songs about the Ukraine when the war started in the Ukraine by Russia, and of course this war of between Israel and Gaza and Lebanon, the whole Middle East has been going on for such a long time, and I think when something special comes in the news again, something that happens, not special, but I mean like when something heavy happens again, that might happen. Yeah, of course it will. But it depends, because Bleed Out is about Iran. So it's not like we don't only, this album was a little bit more, of course, about Ukraine. But I think also music can be multiple interpretable for a lot of people. It's you know, we just stand for freedom and for humanity, and for, I think, in the case of Gaza and Israel, I think there's so many things happening from both sides. It's you can say a lot about that, and but I feel very sorry, especially for people who are suffering, and that's from both sides. I think the whole region is.
Yeah, well, a few weeks ago, and this is the last social question.
Yeah, of course.
2 weeks ago, you revealed, I think it was you actually, Sharon, revealed that you have lost some followers in the social media. I think it was actually some thousands of followers in the social media regarding a post you did about the LGBTI movement, and you said that it was kind of a cleansing or something like that.
Well, yeah.
What does it mean for you that in this day, in 2024, this situation happened?
Well, it says that our society is changing again, but a little bit more backwards. And I think it has to do with a lot of things in society. And I think also for people to change their minds, how they perceive people, go slowly, But I felt like there was more tolerance in the past than there is now in certain parts of Europe. And but it has also to do with certain things changing in society as well, because we had a lot of movements lately, the Me Too movement, Black Lives Matter movement, and I think this is like an anti-reaction almost to everything that is a movement. And I think hopefully it will go away again and people start realizing we're talking about people in general. It doesn't matter what subject it is, if it is LGBTQ, Black Lives Matters, or the Me Too movement. But it's a very delicate thing.
Yeah, and music, and with intentation, music can be helpful to join people together and to claim for the right things, for the right causes.
Well, to make people understand that we're all the same eventually, and just because people are different, that doesn't mean that they're, we should ridicule them or cast them out of society, or we should be embracing people who are different because it makes more colorful and everything.
Cannot be more agree.
Okay, thank you.
Talking about music again, I've heard that maybe you have been working with Tarja Turunen in the last few weeks, few months. Are you working together again, maybe to join your forces in a new song?
Not for a new song, but she's been on stage with us, of course. True. And we've done some, we did covers from each other. And I did also one from Anisoke, which is our support act. And it was really for the promotion of the tour. Of course, everybody thought, oh, they're going to write again. Maybe we will in the future, because we really enjoy each other's company and each other's music. So it's never say never, because it was been only positive what we've done so far together.
That's great. And your latest release actually is with this Ukrainian band.
Yeah.
It's a great song.
Thank you very much.
Will you sing with them?
Well, technically it's a bit difficult, because that's a technical story. It has to do with the system that they work on, and there can't be any microphones added to it. So that's a bit unfortunate. Luckily with Anisoke it does work, so I will be joining them on stage. So.
That's great, and that's something I guess it will happen in Spain as well? That's a spoiling. Great. By the way, you leave the explosion of the symphonic metal. Of course, with Intentation, I was about to say a few years, but maybe a few decades even, you turned more into alternative metal, and you left a little bit behind that symphonic stuff. You still have some symphonic stuff in your songs, anyway. But how did you leave the explosion of symphonic metal in the very first beginning of the band as a singer and also as a fan, with bands growing fast as well, like for example Nightwish with Tarja Turunen climbing to the top of the European metal scene? What are your memories about that?
About the past, you mean?
Yeah, about the explosion of symphonic metal, of which you were somehow part.
Yeah, of course, yes. Well, it was crazy to see how many different bands were put on one pile that they called female-fronted, which I saw a bit different, because if you look at the bands separately, they're very different from each other. Although we have some similarities, and yes, we're female-fronted. But if him, as I say, I take this example every time, if him would have been, if Villa Valo had been a girl, he would have been female-fronted as well, because it has this poetic kind of side to them as well, and darkness. But so different from style-wise what we do and what Nightwish does and all the other bands around. So it's a way of people always want to label things, and that's how I look at it. Maybe
for the sake of being completely equal, we should dream about a future that nobody outstands, whether it's band, female-fronted, or because it's not a men-fronted band, but there's this label female-fronted band, so maybe we should dream of a future that this label is not useful anymore.
Well, because even if you have like Ginger, for instance, they are not called female-fronted, I think. I hope not for them anyway. Or any other female-fronted that's a little bit more in a different corner and a little less symphonic won't be female-fronted, won't be called female-fronted, I guess. I'm not sure, I hope not. Anyway, because I think it's almost like a synonym for symphonic metal.
Okay.
With a lady then, but not for a lot of other bands. But on the other hand, female fronted would suggest that any band who's female fronted is female fronted.
Yes, of course.
So it's a bit of a strange name in a way.
Yeah, that's true what you say, because I mean, I'm thinking about Ginger, or we're thinking about Hailstorm, let's say, and
exactly.
they're not talking about a female fronted
or whatever. It's so different from what we do. All do. So
Yes, of course.
Time for a new name, everyone. Come on. New labels.
New labels. Journalists, we need more labels to describe that.
Be more specific.
It's also a challenge to describe music with words sometimes,
but someone asked me, like, what kind of music do you think you make nowadays? I was like, well, I find it very difficult, because we are a melting pot of so many things. If you look from the start where we started and where we are now.
That's true.
And we still play old songs. So.
Yeah, but the thing is that alternative metal, in the same way as alternative rock somehow, alternative metal kind of fits many different sounds,
maybe
right? So maybe it's the label on which you feel more comfortable.
Maybe it's alternative symphonic metal.
Okay, sounds great. Do you want to join our office?
Yeah.
Great.
I will.
Fine. Sharon, let's talk about the future. Of course, you are inside this amazing tour, which is going so far so good. But I wonder, when will we be able to listen to new material by Within Temptation? Because in the last few years, you've been releasing single by single until you complete the whole record. So It's been like long cycles. So maybe then the upcoming singles not that far away from now.
Well, to be honest, I'm doing 2 side projects at the moment. 2 artists that I'm working on. Maybe we will release that quite soon, but that's not what Within Temptation. It's a completely different kind of music, but just for the fun of it. And new music we're gonna work on when this tour is done, and we're gonna take a little bit more time for it. So maybe 2 years or something.
Okay, it's 2 years until the next song.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, it's gonna be a long tour.
Yeah.
That's great. Side projects, maybe a solo project?
No. So I don't have time for it at the moment. I wish I did, because I love my indigo, but unfortunately there's hardly any time for it, because I'm writing a lot also with Temptation.
And you're talking about another kind of music. Where are you going through? Maybe electronics, death metal?
No. It's people I met just like last year, and young people that are actually a little bit already made a name for themselves, but still for a lot of people maybe still unknown, and just by crossing over with each other might be nice for everyone, because for me it's like extra new ideas again, and for them it's maybe also a way to to get known more by the Within Temptation fans and everything. But one of them is pretty known, but not by our audience, I think.
So cryptical. I'm
gonna stay cryptical.
You do. So let's say that it's a band. It's like a new band, new project with another musicians. One of them well known.
One of them not known.
One of them
not known in European.
Not as well known. Let's say
but
that way.
Big in certain countries. So.
Great. That's great. Yeah. But still
cryptic.
Still rock or metal, I guess. Because if you want to open the doors into fans,
one is and one isn't.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what's about the other one? What
I'm not going to say anyway before you know it. I'm telling you my names, right?
I'm thinking about many different styles. I'm thinking about, ethnic music, ethnical stuff, or I don't know, flamenco.
Yeah, it could all be. I would love flamenco, and I would love to do a Spanish song one day.
Really? Are you very into flamenco?
Well, I love it. It's for me. It's something that I like when I'm on a holiday, and it gives me that holiday Spanish vibe. And when I'm in Spain, I love Spain.
Because you travel to Spain quite frequently, right?
Yeah, I do.
On holidays, and you have a place to stay there?
Yeah, I do. And I have family living there as well. So,
that's nice. That's nice. So I guess that for you it's always special to go to Spain and play in Spain. Yeah. And now you're going to do huge venues, both in Madrid and Barcelona. So
I'm so happy.
It's going to be great.
Yeah.
Do you think it's going to be the most, the biggest show that Within Temptation have ever bring to Spain?
I think so, yes. I think, of course, when we released Semi-Ground, I think people knew us a little bit, more people knew us, I guess, in a way, because we were on the radio, I think, for 6 weeks with that song. So, but I think a lot of them haven't forgotten us, and that's really nice. So I'm really, it's nice to play in a beautiful venue. So I'm looking forward to see you all there.
How are you doing with your Spanish?
My Spanish, I have a Spanish book with me.
Oh, really? You're reading the Spanish book?
Yeah, well, it's like a translation book for certain things I need to say, but we still need to take it with us a little bit more. But I still have a few weeks to go, so yeah.
Oh, great.
And I'm actually going to Spain Tuesday.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so have my small holiday break over there to have a bit better weather and. Yeah.
It's great to get into the language maybe for some tips.
Maybe if I want to sing a Spanish song, I have to practice a bit more.
It would be nice. Maybe exercising this flamenco
who knows?
taste that you have. Which path would you like With Intentation to follow in the upcoming records? Musically talking, not statistically talking. Do you have are you thirsty of innovation, thirsty of development, thirsty of doing something different? Not with the side project, but also with Intentation in the future? Yes,
but it's something that we always have. We always want to renew ourselves, find a newer version of ourselves, and that's finding inspiration around you. And luckily, there's a lot of young, new bands that are just so amazing that sometimes I didn't even hear from them. They were actually doing pretty well already, but then you just take certain elements from that, like, wow, that's cool. Didn't see music like that, and then try to cross it over with your own kind of music, and you get something new again, and then a bit updated.
So you're very updated into the new bands that are rising up in the scene. You're listening. Do you listen a lot to new music, new metal? Not new metal, but new metal.
Yeah, I'm trying to find.
Or maybe new metal as well.
I must say that's quite difficult sometimes. But my daughter came with a band that's actually doing really well in Belgium right now, and
Which was it?
A band from Belgium.
Which one?
Brutus.
Okay, Brutus, yeah.
And they are amazing. This Sinead Corner crossover with black metal, and my daughter was like, "Mom, you're gonna love this," and I said, "Oh, this is really good." And I have never heard of them, and they're doing really well. They're pretty big already in Belgium. They're playing as a support act, I think, even for the Arctic Monkeys, I believe, in America. Yeah. So I was like, "Oh my God, where was I? I was underneath a rock or something,"
So you put some light into the musical path of your daughter as well.
Yeah,
it's a big influence. I mean, to have a mother is a main singer of one of the main metal bands in Europe.
Yeah, well, and then she comes to me with bands that I hadn't heard of, and my sons as well. They both play guitar pretty well, actually.
Oh, that's nice.
And they also come with, "Mom, did you hear this? And did you hear that?" And they were the first one to bring me the news that Linkin Park had a new singer, which is a girl, which I think is amazing. She's just great. And he was like, "Did you hear that they have a new singer?" So
what's your opinion about the new singer of Linkin Park?
I think it's really great. Right? Yeah, and I think it's smart that they found someone who's a girl who will bring a different flavor, but still has the same kind of brutal energy like he had. And of course, the original singer is of course was iconic, but I think she can really be up there with him.
It's been a brave movement,
yeah,
isn't it?
I think it's really cool, and I think it's good for how nice for the band, because they had to stop for a long while.
Yes.
And now they get a second chance maybe with her. I hope for them anyway.
Yeah, so you used to listen a lot of Linkin Park in the past?
Yeah, our album, The Silent Force, was really inspired by that also, with the loops and everything. The way it sounds was really was inspired a lot by Linkin Park, actually.
Yeah, they are masters.
Yeah, they are masters.
I think they're going to be successful with the upcoming record.
Yeah, I think so too. I'm going to buy it anyway. So.
That's nice. Okay, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
It was a big pleasure to talk to you again, as always.
You're welcome.